The UNT Frisco campus has a new art edition from one of their own.
If you're not ready for next week's daylight savings, stay tuned for how you can prepare for that pesky time change.
Casting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Peter Rabel.
And I'm Avery Callens. Tonight, the 4 missing Americans from Mexico have been found. 2 were found dead and the other 2 have returned to the United States. Family members say the friends traveled from South Carolina so one of them could get a medical procedure. Gloria Pezmino has the latest.
De los 4, hay 2 de ellos fallecidos, una persona herida y la otra con vida. Y ahorita van las ambulancias.
Ambulances and security personnel are giving medical support to the survivors.
I've been briefed by the FBI, which is working with Mexican authorities, and senior department officials are working closely with our counterparts at the State Department.
The investigation is continuing and hopes to catch the cartel members.
Terrifying moments were caught on camera on Monday aboard a cross-country flight from Los Angeles to Boston. A passenger allegedly attacked a flight attendant before attempting an emergency exit. This is the latest aviation incident that's shaken the industry in the recent months. Chris Wynn is in Washington with more.
Tell them to bring SWAT to shoot me down because they're going to have...
What started as a normal trip aboard United Flight 2609 would turn into chaos.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
I heard, a commotion. He was getting louder.
Authorities say Francisco Severo Torres of Massachusetts began a string of violent outbursts about 5 hours after the plane left Los Angeles for Boston.
Where's the Homeland Security with the gun? Because I'm waiting for them to point the gun at me. I will kill every man on this plane.
Passenger video shows the moment when Torres pulls out what appears to be a makeshift weapon out of his pocket and says the words no one ever wants to hear.
I'm taking over this plane.
The Justice Department says Torres rushed towards one of the flight attendants in a stabbing motion with a broken metal spoon, hitting the flight attendant on the neck area 3 times.
Many men from the plane jumped up, followed him, tackled him to the ground, and there were probably about 4 to 6 of them that sat on top of him to restrain him. He was still screaming, and he somehow escaped from the zip ties.
And when zip ties nearly ran out,
people were sending up their belts to help restrain him.
Torres told law enforcement he tried to open an emergency exit door to jump out of the plane, claiming that he was defending himself because he believed the flight crew was trying to kill him. The plane landed safely at Boston Logan International Airport, where Torres was arrested. I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Fortunately, no one was hurt and the suspect is now in custody.
Last October, 2 hospital workers were tragically shot and killed by a man on parole with an ankle monitor. A new bill has been proposed in response to put in greater ankle monitor restrictions. Sebastian Nava has the story.
Thanks, Avery. Texas lawmakers are proposing new bills that will toughen restrictions on parolees wearing ankle monitors. The new bills are in response to the October 2022 shooting at Methodist Hospital, where Nelson Hernandez took the lives of 2 hospital workers while wearing an ankle monitor. The new laws will make the removal of an ankle monitor a felony, punishable by serving the remainder of the sentence in prison and earning extra years for parole violations. The bills also increases punishments for assaulting a hospital worker and require parole officers to notify hospitals if a violent offender wearing an electronic monitor will be entering the premises, a measure lawmakers say would have prevented the October shooting since Hernandez was given permission to visit the hospital for the birth of his child. The bill has received support from both Democrats and Republicans, along with support from hospital executives and law enforcement officials. Now that's all I have from outside UNTPD. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Sebastian. Texas secessionists are pushing for the state to become independent once again. An independence referendum act has been filed by State Representative Brian Slayton. If passed, it will allow Texas citizens to vote on the secession of Texas from the United States. Slayton's bill has been condemned by both conservative and liberal lawmakers. However, in a recent online survey, over half answered in support of secession. With the state's legislature dominated by Republicans, Group Leader Daniel Miller is hopeful that the bill will pass.
Peter, it was looking a little gloomy outside today, but with spring break coming up, I'm really hoping that's going to change.
I could not agree more. I am so excited for the weather to warm back up, but I have no idea what to expect tonight. For that, I think we'll have to turn it over to our weather anchor, Brooke Deering.
Well, guys, just when we thought that the sun was here to stay, more storms are brewing over North Texas. But for right now, the weather has been pretty clear today. If we look at our current conditions, the temperature right now is at 78 degrees. So it's been pretty warm, but with the clouds that we've been having, it's been very humid today. If we look at tonight's conditions, the temperature is going to drop to 69 degrees, and it's going to feel like 70 degrees, so not too much of a change, but the winds are going to slow down to 6 miles per hour, and as the clouds keep rolling in, we're going to see some scattered thunderstorms tonight, which leads us to tomorrow's conditions, where the temperature is going to drop even more to 59 degrees. It's going to get a little bit chillier, and it's going to feel like 54 degrees. So hopefully you're not outside too much tomorrow, because we are going to see thunderstorms all day with winds back up to 9 miles per hour. I'll be back later in the show with your full weather update, as well as more information on those severe thunderstorms. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Brooke. Well, with the weather changing comes a time change, and we've got some tips for how you can get physically ready.
And find out how Barbie dolls are reflecting this Celebrity Month. Stay with us.
Live from UNT, it's Wheel of Culture.
Welcome back to Wheel of Culture. Our contestant is so close to solving this puzzle. But first, it's time to give the wheel a spin. Wow, you landed on London, one of the many places where you and your fellow students can go on a chance to experience new culture. But only if you can solve this puzzle.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. Study abroad.
That's correct. You just won yourself a trip to study abroad in London, England, and you can too. Just go to studyabroad.unt.edu to see deadlines and apply for scholarships. Get ready to study abroad.
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
If you've had trouble with your sleep schedule lately, I've got some good news. Things are about to change.
That's right. Daylight savings is right around the corner. Our reporter Madison Myers has some ways you can transition through this time jump a little better.
Thanks, guys. With daylight savings just around the corner, experts recommend preparing now to help cope with that pesky time change. Now, science has shown that the stress of switching to daylight savings has both a mental and physical toll on the body, so it's best to prepare now. A few ways to help reduce the effects of time change include avoiding naps, watching your diet, readjusting your routine, and seeking out sunshine. According to a study from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, 55% of adults in the United States feel tired during the spring daylight saving time transition. The same study also shows that it can take 5 to 7 days to adjust, so it's best to prepare your body now. Now, I'm out here with my colleague Armando, and he's already got a head start on his preparation for next week. Armando, what can you tell our viewers on how they can prepare?
Whew, that was a lot of cardio for me. But the best way to prepare is just, get out and exercise. Maybe if you're not comfortable with exercising or you just haven't done it before, a good way is just to be a little bit more active, walk around. For me, I downloaded this Steps app on my iPhone where I can keep track and see, when I could be a little bit more active, when I'm being lazy, and then go from there. Another way is just finding a fun way to move around your daily duties, and it just maybe even fun way to move around on campus. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later on in my sportscast.
All right, you guys heard it here. Get outside, get active, take your steps. Now, you'll have to wait a little later in the show to see what else Armando has to say. You won't want to miss it. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Madison. But Avery, I know Texas. Just because daylight savings time is coming doesn't mean it's about to feel like spring just yet.
I completely agree. Let's go ahead and see what our weather anchor Brooke Deering has to say. Brooke?
Well, the weather has dropped into the 70s across North Texas. If we take a look at our local map, we're going to see temperatures ranging in between 71 and 79 degrees, with our warmer temperatures in the South, Dallas at 79 degrees. And we're going to see a common temperature of 71 degrees in Bowie, Gainesville, and Paris, Texas over here. Now, if we head into our regional map, we're going to see that the temperature is kind of all over the place, with temperatures ranging in between 49 degrees and 83 degrees. Those warmer temperatures still being in the south, and we're seeing those cooler temperatures in the north, with Amarillo at 51 degrees and Oklahoma City at 49 degrees. So pretty chilly in comparison to everywhere else. We're seeing those 70s in between, Denton being at one of the warmer areas at 78 degrees. Now, if we head into our 7-day forecast, we're going to see that Wednesday and Thursday are definitely those prominent days for thunderstorms, with Wednesday being at a high of 59 degrees and a low of 54 degrees. Thursday, we're going to see a high of 74 degrees and a low of 47 degrees. And I know after those storms, we're looking for a little bit of sun, but we're going to have to wait until Tuesday, where we're going to see a high of 64 degrees and a low of 45 degrees. But for this weekend, it's going to be partly cloudy. We're seeing Saturday at a high of 77 degrees and a low of 57 degrees. And then Sunday at a high of 65 degrees and a low of 44 degrees. So I would definitely keep a lookout for those severe weather updates as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. But that's all I have for weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Brooke. In order to celebrate Women's History Month and International Women's Day, tomorrow Mattel has created 3 new Barbie bosses. The new Barbies are being made in respect of the Wojcicki sisters, who are considered STEM pioneers. These one-of-a-kind Barbies will be not produced for sale, but are being gifted to the sisters. Susan Wojcicki was the 16th employee to join Google and just stepped down as CEO of YouTube. Ann Wojcicki is CEO of the DNA testing company 23andMe, and Janet Wojcicki is a professor of pediatrics and epidemiology at the University of California in San Francisco. Some other female role model Barbies made by Mattel include Maggie Adrienne Pocock, a space scientist from the United Kingdom, Anchi Botius, a marine researcher and microbiologist from Germany, and others. Is great Mattel has decided to highlight these women and continue to inspire younger women.
With all the rain we've had in the past few days, it's easy to forget that in Texas, water is a very precious commodity. But come July, it will become a real issue on our mind once again. So how do we conserve something that we all need to survive? ntTV's Living Green reporter, Kayla Bumpus, has more. Kayla?
That's right, Peter. This week, I took a look around campus to see ways that UNT saves water. I was happy to find some easy ways to stay green and conserve water. Saving water can drastically help us deal with the current climate crisis. There are many ways to significantly and easily cut down water usage. For example, it takes 1,800 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef, because cows produce a very large water footprint. You can decrease your water footprint by avoiding red meats. An easy way to do this is to try some delicious vegetarian options at Mean Greens. This dining hall is entirely vegan, which reduces your meal's water footprint significantly. This dining hall is located in Maple Hall and even has vegan ice cream, which I would say definitely makes it worth the trip. The University of North Texas has done an outstanding job of keeping our campus green. Apogee Stadium is the very first college football stadium run entirely on wind turbines, which gives it its very own inexhaustible source of electricity. Using wind turbines to supply the stadium with energy saves millions of gallons of water, because wind turbines require little to no water to generate electricity. By making small intentional decisions, we can make a difference to conserve water. Stay green, Denton. So while the rain this spring is great, we need to be very aware of how we use one of the most of our ecology, water. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kayla. Well, vegans, get ready. Your new favorite chocolate may be coming to the shelves. Hershey has released a new vegan Reese's Peanut Butter Cup and vegan chocolate bar with almonds and sea salt. These new vegan Hershey's chocolates will be bathed with oats instead of dairy. Hershey's has been in lead of creating vegan chocolates as they released their vegan Kit Kat bar back in 2021.
Well, as a pescatarian who's kind of looking into veganism, this sounds like a pretty convincing factor. Anyways, big changes are happening here at UNT, and you're going to need a map to find your way through it.
And coming up, we will see the amazing sculpture addition to the UNT Frisco campus. We'll be back. The new branch of UNT at Frisco is finally open, and there's something special hanging from the ceiling at the Frisco Landing. ntTV's Gabby Carden had a chance to speak with the artist behind the unique sculpture, and he says it represents more than just the Mean Green community. Let's take a look. From creating a new look to giving a well-deserved facelift to an old look.
Well, Peter, that's one way to look at it, but you are right about the need for an update. The Eagle Student Services Center is under construction. Our Maya Nicholson is out at the construction center with the latest. Maya?
Thanks, Peter. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I am standing in front of the Eagle Student Services Center. Today, it went under construction. These renovations are expected to last throughout the rest of the school year. I want to emphasize that the Services Center is not closing. If you still want to visit the center, there are new directions on where to visit and get some help. If you have an appointment, want to drop off documents, or visit the ESSC's classroom, you will need to enter from the west side of the center through the tall double doors facing the Library Mall water fountain. And if you want to help with financial aid and scholarships, you will need to enter using the ramp across from Wells Fargo. With daylight savings approaching soon, hopefully this construction will move quickly and students can enjoy the new center. Back to you at the desk.
Hey, Avery, I know we're in the second week of March, and you know what that means, right? We're in the second week of tournament time.
I think so. And let's go ahead and check in with our sports anchor, Armando Berry, to see where UNT stands in the mix. Armando?
Hey, Peter and Avery, we've got an announcement on UNT basketball, and I'll have a special story on how one college student is escaping the college stress from this spot right here when we return.
what does Talons do?
So I'm the Vice President of External Relations for Talons. That means that I basically oversee all the external committees. Our external committees entail our Model A, it's a Mean Green Machine. So they bring it to football games especially, so every game it's kind of there, every home game. The Model A is like a symbol of UNC pride, and it's a big tradition that we are so lucky to uphold and maintain. When people look at it, they see it, and they're like, oh, that's the Mean Green Machine. There must be a game today or something to ramp up school spirit for basketball, softball, volleyball, any of those things. We have amazing teams, so we just want to show school spirit for them. Bonfire Committee, which is in charge of putting together the bonfire every year for homecoming. It's kind of just a whole semester-long process up until Build Week that we have to put together and oversee and make sure safety regulations are followed and risk management is taken care of. Cannon Crew, which oversees and takes care of the cannon. They fire it at games, they take it to special occasions.
Five boys basketball teams from the Dallas-Fort Worth area are making the trip to San Antonio for the state championship tournament. The state semifinalists include Kimball, Mansfield Summit, Oak Cliff Faith Family Academy, DeSoto, and Lake Highlands. The game starts at the Alamo Dome with 5A on Thursday when the Kimball Knights take on San Antonio Veteran Memorial at 5 p.m., followed by Mansfield Summit competing in their first day semi in their school's history against Clean Ellison at 8:30. On Friday, 4A and 6A take the court with Faith Family trying to continue their run as defending 4A champs against Canyon Randall at 1:30. And the two big dogs in 6A, Lake Highlands and DeSoto, are going to fight it out for a spot in the title game in a little North Dallas versus South Dallas showdown for the nightcap. Earlier today, two Mean Green ball players were named recipients of Conference USA's season awards. Quincy Noble received first team All-USA honors for the third time in her career. Noble is only the second player in program history to have done so, besides her very own head coach, J. Lee Mitchell. Representing the men's team, fan favorite Tyler Perry was named CUSA Player of the Year. The Oklahoma native is only the fourth guard to have achieved this in Mean Green history, while averaging 17 points per game and leading UNT to a program record 25 wins. There's a saying that time is the most important thing that you can spend, so let me show you how one person chooses to spend theirs skating to escape.
College students use different ways to get from point A to B. One of the most popular choices on campus is skateboarding.
How do you feel when you skate?
I feel free. I feel free, man. I feel like a kid again, which is very important to me, like stay in tune with that inner child, you know?
When all these things are probably on your schedule, why do you choose, with the little free time that you have, to come out here and skate?
Honestly, it's just like my little peace of mind, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a form of escapism, whether it be like from school or work or just from life in general.
It's a hobby for many that has become a campus community.
It just kind of happened naturally, you know, but it feels really nice. Anytime I come out, I'm like bound to run into somebody.
A group that believes it's less about the skill and more about how it makes you feel.
All the tricks aside, like, you know what I mean? No matter what you can do or can't do on a board, it's just all in good fun, you know? Just all in good fun at the end of the day.
I want to give a special thanks to my guy, Wellington, for letting me tell his story. And hey, I hope we can all find our own fun ways to let out this stress, because we all know that we need it. That's your look at sports for tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, Armando. Well, Avery, you might be surprised when you hear an alligator egg was stolen 20 years ago from Animal World and Snake Zoo here in Texas.
You're so right. I did not know about that. So what's the big reveal?
Oh, you didn't know? Okay, so you'll be even more surprised when you learn that the little guy is all grown up and he's been returned to his original home.
You mean this big guy? Last week, the 8-foot alligator was found in a home near Austin, Texas, living as an illegal pet. A former zoo volunteer admitted to taking the alligator egg and raising it as it was hatching. The alligator grew too large for his enclosure, and the owner was unable to meet the requirements to obtain the legal permits to keep the alligator. The alligator has since been returned to the zoo, where he can live in a much more comfortable habitat. Texas wildlife officials would like to take this opportunity to remind citizens, alligators don't make good pets, y'all.
I mean, if that was my neighbor, I would be scared that my dog would get eaten. It does seem like alligators can be expensive pets. The woman is being charged $500 for stealing the egg and another $500 fine for not getting the proper permits.
Well, thankfully, my little weenie dog lives on the 3rd story of an apartment complex with me, so I know no alligators will be getting near him. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow at noon and tomorrow evening at 6 here on North Texas Television.